but obviously going home to Idaho, that's always fun. And it was a road game. It felt like a home game because the whole top bowl was blue and cheering and it was fun. And I mean, not just for me, not just for Amari, but like I got four girls, Dav and Cambry and Bryn, all from Idaho and all from there. And so, I mean, they loved it too. It was good for them to see their families and friends and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what I wanted to bring up right there next. So you lead right into it. It does feel like the state of Idaho and Idaho basketball plays a pretty significant role in how you're building out your roster in a lot of ways. And obviously there are a lot of talented players from that state. Is Idaho basketball maybe a little bit of like an under-recruited gym, do you think with just the prep products, the club products and that kind of thing? You obviously coached there before you came to BYU and whatnot, so I figured you could give a little bit of insight into is that just like a market that is kind of brimming with talent that maybe gets overlooked sometimes?
I think so. Like, I don't know if you remember Destiny Slocum, she was one of the first ones that came out of Idaho. And so when Amari was in her state tournament run her junior year, she broke a lot of her records. And then consequently, right behind that, I mean, records are made to be broken. That's what I always say, right? So consequently behind that, I believe there's Carly Lotta who plays for Utah State. Shay Shippen, who's right behind there, Avery Howell, another one, Sid Rodriguez. Like, there's a lot of girls that it's not just like I've picked up all of them, right? There's a lot. And then I got the ones that I have. But I mean, Kenna Garza, she just signed. I mean, crap, there's a lot of girls there, and I'm name dropping, and I know I'm forgetting people, but there's a lot that are up there. And so when they get on their travel circuits, I feel like that's the way they get seen a lot. But then, yeah, if you go up there, I mean, any given month, and one thing I love about them is like, and Idaho in general, there's a lot of kids that come from farming communities, right? Like, I mean, they're just blue collar kids that or just want to get in and do the dirty work. So not necessarily that, they're all the most talented. They're just really hard workers and really just they're going to go grind it out for you. And so and you see that come out in all four of mine that I have, like they're just going to get in there and stick their nose in it. And they're not just the only ones. I mean, a lot of girls do that in Idaho. And so I feel like that's a rep that they have for sure.
I've known the Cannon family for a couple of years, obviously, since Brenly's older brother McKay transferred from Weber to finish out at BYU. Love that family to death. But what do you like about Brenly's game in particular that makes her a pretty, I mean, it seems like she's getting some pretty good playing time for you early on in her freshman year. And I
She's
wanted to ask you about a specific Idaho player, but I also didn't want to ask you about Amari, so I figured Brenly's the next best option.
No, I don't know how many times she was on the floor getting loose balls for us, getting jump balls for us, offensive rebounds. Like her length just provides a lot of chaos in there for us. And she can shoot it. She goes and gets it. She finishes at the rim. Like she's sneaky effective. And so I love having her out there. And she's one that I've coached before. And so like she knows me. She knows my, if I scream, it's love. It's, what I mean, she just doesn't, but she responds to it. Like she's just really good at that in that nature. And I trust her. I mean, I guess if that's what you could say. Like when you've coached them for a while, you've been in situations like that, the trust is there.
That trust both ways. How much is that developing right now? 4-0 start, and what did you like maybe coming off of this weekend that you feel like you can build on with this team?
Um, Shoot, what did I like? I mean, going on the road first and foremost to like you're never going to get calls that you want, you know what I mean? You're never going to get, but then also got hot. And so I know I keep saying this, like there's one of these games I'm going to say it, when we have a test, it's not going to go our way. But right now they're grinding it out and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty on the offensive side. It wasn't pretty on the defensive side. And we didn't have perfect game plan execution. But they came together. And like I've said, this probably every single win, they've came together and times got tough. They get in it and they just, lock it down. So I keep being proud of them in that nature, but there's a lot of things that we got to fix. So we're not anywhere where we want to be yet.
For sure, for sure. Well, on that note, what are you looking forward to kind of this week? You got McNeese on Tuesday and then UNC Northern Colorado on Saturday. What kind of stands out maybe about those two teams, and what are you hoping to sort of get out of this team this week?
McNeese does, they average over 23, 24 offensive rebounds a game. And that's huge. So we got to make sure we're boxing out, which has been one of the things that I get frustrated with too. They do a lot of like cuts to the rim, face cuts, back cuts, slip cuts. And so obviously you saw that became a glaring factor in the Idaho State game. And, sometimes it hurt us. So we got to make sure that we're taking care of that. And that just boils down to communication. When they're out there together, if they get tired, they stop talking, or, if the offense isn't going, they stop talking. And so I got to have them talking. And it's what I'm going to constantly be harping on.
For
I
sure.
just need a big sign that says talk right here so I don't have to say it.
I was gonna say get one of those
The light up
the
signs.
smartphone games where you have like the flash card and just flash it, talk.
It is constantly screaming talk all the time. So it's just like, yeah.
Last question, I'll get you out of here on this, coach. But you're one of the non-Idaho girls, a Utah girl. In fact, having a really nice start to her campaign in Emma Calvert. Does it feel like Emma's game fits this? I'll call it new, but I don't think it's totally new, but new-ish offense that Lee's putting together.
Yeah, because five out, the five out, like she can pick and pop, she can pick and roll, right? She has the advantage inside. She has a really nice hook, and she's shooting a really good percentage right now from three, and so she fits perfectly. And I just feel like she's finally, not finally, I would say she's just playing loose, playing free, and playing like it's her senior year, and this she's giving everything she wants. So.